Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said great. This is going to be a fun day. Okay, so I love to go on Facebook Marketplace and just kind of seek out the oddities that people have, especially being someone who travels. It's kind of cool or sometimes fun when I'm done filming for the day to just look around locally and see what crazy things people have to offer. Now, I recently saw someone post something that I was completely confused by. I'd never ever heard about this, but in my lifetime, I think the two most enigmatic pop rock and roll stars are Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley. And I think it's because they walk to the beat of their own drum so much that anytime we find out anything that they were going to do or did that we didn't know about, it just kind of adds more and more to the mystique. And today, we're actually going to do that. I saw someone posting something and they had a story attached to it, and it was pertaining to Michael Jackson. It was actually something that I never heard. So he's going to tell us the story today, and I think you'll be floored to know that Michael Jackson at one point was thinking of opening his own themed restaurant. Daze with Jordan the Lion and you all, it begins right now. All right, Dave, thank you for talking to us today. People seem to always be, I think, interested in Michael Jackson because he was such a fascinating person. And I am one of those people as well. And I knew, I've known for years that he loved going to the Rainforest Cafe and he loved going to Hard Rock cafes and things like that. So when you posted this on Marketplace, it really caught my eye. Can you tell us what this is and how the story came about?
Sure, be glad to, Jordan. This is a embroidery of the restaurant that Michael was going to open in London. I had a screen print and embroidery availability shop in Lakeland, Florida, and had worked at Disney. Actually, before the park opened, I started there. So a friend of mine knew a guy who knew Michael, and he was going to put together a Rainforest, Hard Rock, Planet Hollywood-like restaurant in London. And this was in '95. It was going to be called The World of Michael Jackson. And so my friend asked for some samples of t-shirts and this jacket embroidery. We did those, and
did they tell you what image they wanted used at all, or did
they
just
provided the artwork?
Okay.
So this was all, the colors were all from him, Michael. And then we did the samples, and Dave took them up to New York to show Michael, who happened to live on the penthouse floor, and the other resident at the penthouse on Trump Tower was Donald.
Yeah.
So Dave went to show the samples and got Michael on this to autograph it to me with love, Michael Jackson, peace. So it was a pretty cool thing. I didn't know he was going to do this, my friend, so they got it matted and framed and brought it down to my screen print shop in Lakeland and presented it to me in probably late '95. So that was a contact I had with Michael.
Now, did your friend tell you what Michael's reaction was to the work or anything like that?
Well, he said he loved the products. There were additional ones other than textiles that they had done, but actually, for whatever reason in '95, Michael decided not to move forward with the project. So that was unfortunate from our standpoint, but I'm sure he had his reasons, probably to concentrate on new video, new songs, new arrangements. So the restaurant area sort of.
What did they tell you? Did they tell you anything at all about the restaurant? What it would be like,
No,
or
just that it would be like a memorabilia location like a rainforest.
All centered around Michael, of course.
Oh, yes, yes.
Now, you kind of mentioned that you had your start working for Disney. You really caught my attention when we talked about this before because you said, oh, I actually have a Michael Jackson story from when Disney World, I guess,
Yes,
opened.
that's correct. Back in 91, in 71, I actually started a couple of months, 6 weeks before the park opened in August of 71 when I started, and it was in the merchandise area. Had some photo experience, so they placed me in the camera center. And we were in Main Street, and in Main Street it opened an hour before the rest of the park just to let people come in the park, ingress, one of those ingresses.
Yeah.
And so we were open on this rainy day, and those of us that were on the opening shift were in the back stock room, and we heard all this commotion and noise out in the front of the store and the sales area. So a couple of us went out to the front and found that there was this group, and I recognized Michael immediately with his large afro, and it turned out that the Jackson 5 was there. So 24 years before being involved with him in this potential retail restaurant area, I had actually seen him in the camera center, and as Disney employees, we were cautioned not to make a big deal, make a fuss over any celebrities. So it was just a, hey, how are you?
And you said they basically got to go in there and just grab whatever they wanted kind of deal?
We had a rental camera program, a massive $2 a day for the little Instamatic cameras, and I'm sure we comped them, and then the tour guide, and filmed too, and the tour guides probably returned that to us. I'm sure there were no issues with that, but yes, we made sure they had enough cameras to memorialize their trip that day in the park.
That's really cool. How popular were they at that time?
Oh, they were popular. He was 13-ish.
Oh, wow.
And so they were, I knew instantly who it was.
Yeah.
Because they were all the brothers and some of their entourage. I don't know whether the parents were there or not, but that was cool to see them among the many folks that we did meet.
And didn't you say that it was kind of funny that the person that hooked you up with doing all this embroidery later was someone that you knew from those days at Disney?
Yes. He was a co-worker there, and then all those years later, he contacted me knowing that I had a print shop near where he lives, still in the Orlando area. So he contacted me, and we went forward with a lot of samples, t-shirts, black t-shirts with white print, and white t-shirts with black print. So that was pretty cool. And
of course, I was asking you, I'm like, is there anything left, or did you guys give everything to them? And
yeah, all the samples went with him up to New York when he went up to meet with Michael. But it was, lots of fun doing it and coming home and saying, hey, guess who I'm working for now?
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yes.
How exciting that was to get to put something like that together. Were you a Michael fan yourself?
I wasn't particularly. Certainly felt that he was quite an artist, musician and dance man.
I would have loved to have seen that restaurant because I know one of his favorite places was Rainforest Cafe, and they're kind of famous for having this talking tree, and he would go in there and watch the tree talk for like 10 minutes. So knowing how hands-on he was with everything he did, I just wondered how cool that restaurant really could have been. He could have had like an interactive thriller animatronic scene. I mean, who knows what he would have done.
Yeah, it would have been quite special, I'm sure, with his both connections and genius focus on so many different things.
And the funny thing is, I don't know how many people know this story, but I looked pretty hard, and I know quite a few people that are obsessed Michael fans. They knew nothing about this. I couldn't find anything about this. So this is just one of those secret little projects that
I can
potentially...
I can guarantee you there's no other piece like this one in the world.
That is so cool. Plus, when I showed it to my friend who collects Michael autographs, he said, that's not just a fan autograph. That version of Michael's autograph is actually what he signed to people that he liked or people that were friendly to him or whatever. So it's a pretty special piece. Yeah. And you've had it for all these years and then decided to let it go. And I happened to see it and I just had to have it. So thank you for sharing this story with us. What could have been the world of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and he was going to roll them out all over.
Can you imagine? And he probably... He still is so popular. I just heard they said that he made like $600 million last year.
Gosh.
And I'm going, he still has the popularity.
Oh, yeah.
This probably could have still been around if they did it right.
Absolutely.
And you said that what's framed in there is actually one of the, it was like satin or jacket?
Yeah, this was going to be on the back of a satin jacket, like a full back embroidery. And I'm sure something on the front, maybe just the world of, or a little swoosh of the ribbon. But this was going to be a full jacket, full back embroidery on the jacket. And he specifically wanted the silver jacket. We had one actually custom made from a jacket company and then flown down to us.
Did they say why he wanted specifically silver?
If they did, I don't remember what that reason was, but it was very specific.
Very interesting. Well, very cool story, Dave. Thank you for sharing it with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.